Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. In City Council news, there was a unanimous vote to rename a portion of Bragg Street between Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and South Elm Street to Carolyn Coleman Way. This is in honor of the former Guilford County Commissioner who passed away in January. In other council news, the property off of U.S. Highway 29 north and west of Tierview Trail has been rezoned and annexed. This will make it possible to build up to 284 single-family homes. Another rezoning and annexation will accommodate more than 400 residential units located east of Randleman Road, south of Coalfield and Peppercorn Roads. In preparation of Toyota's electric vehicle battery plant coming to the Greensboro-Randolph megasite, City Council approved nearly $27 million to support ongoing design and construction activities required to extend water and sewer service, including building an elevated water tank at the site. In final City Council news, the Greensboro Police Department will continue providing school resource officers for the Guilford County Board of Education and certain Guilford County school campuses. The Guilford County Board of Education will reimburse the city with more than $1.5 million for a portion of the costs to cover 17 officers and 3 sworn supervisors. A resolution approved by the Greensboro City Council paves the way for voters to consider approving a bond referendum up to $135 million in general obligation bonds for proposed city projects. The referendum will be held on July 26 as part of the city's general election. Residents may vote yes or no on 5 separate bonds in the following categories: housing for a total of $30 million, Parks and Recreation in the amount of $70 million, firefighting facilities for a total of $14 million, law enforcement facilities in the amount of $6 million, and transportation for a total of $15 million. If a majority of registered voters cast a yes vote for this 2022 individual bond, the city will be authorized to borrow funds for that purpose. In recent weeks, you may have noticed members of the Greensboro Fire Department in your neighborhood. They're conducting fire hydrant testing today through May 15th. All city hydrants will be tested to ensure they are working and able to produce the required water pressure when needed. Because this testing must be done during regular operating hours, it's impossible to know in advance where or when the testing will take place in any specific area. Opening a fire hydrant can cause a temporary discoloration of water. The discoloration is not harmful in any way and can be cleared up by running the water for a few minutes. If you observe a hydrant that is out of service or experiencing problems, contact the city's Water Resources Department, since the fire department does not perform maintenance on the hydrants. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
1 in 4 Americans suffer from allergies. Don't let the things that contribute to your symptoms stop you from enjoying your activities. I am Dr. Rosalind Hicks, an allergist from Allergy and Asthma Center of North Carolina, a member of Cone Health Medical Group. Let's get started and talk about allergies. Allergies are the common cold. Very similar entities. They both consist of a lot of congestion, runny nose, sneezing. Typically with the common cold, you're going to have, starting out, a little more scratchy throat, sore throat, and you often a little bit of fever. Both can have cough because of the postnasal drip, and you're going to feel a little lousy with the common cold, will run down, dehydrated, those kind of things. And then with allergies, it can be any time of year. Cold may be more common in the winter season, and allergies can be with exposure. You just mow the lawn, did you just take care of the cat or dog, did you just clean out the attic with lots of dust. So those are the things we think about to differentiate between a common cold and allergies. The common triggers kind of fall into two categories: indoor, outdoor, seasonal, or year-round. So in the spring, we think a lot about tree pollen, followed by grass pollen and weed pollen, and then we have dust, mite, cockroach, mold, which can be indoors and out, and then any kind of furried animal, dog, cat, gerbil, any of those. So clearly, if we're sensitive to the animals, then we shouldn't have animals, we shouldn't be exposed to them, but we can't really control completely pollen exposure. So if you go outside, if you're doing something involving that exposure, then wearing a mask if you have to mow the grass, wiping off your hands and feet, taking off your shoes before you walk through the house so you don't track the pollen through, minimizing the window being down as you ride down the road, and wiping off the cats and dogs when they come in from their walk so the pollen is not throughout the house and on the furniture, those kind of things. Well, of course, avoidance would be the biggest action that we could participate in to try to minimize symptoms, but side of that, adding medications to minimize the congestion, sneezing, runny nose. I'm a huge proponent of saline rinse, and so that's something easy that's not medicated. It's just salt water flushing out and clearing out the nasal passages so we can take away those allergens that we've been breathing in. I think it is very important to prepare for allergy season so that you can minimize your suffering and you don't have so much congestion and headache or disrupted activity. I like to encourage people to start their medications around Valentine's Day, and usually that'll minimize their symptoms and they can go into the allergy season ahead and symptom-free. It is important for individuals to think about allergy testing if they're having lots of symptoms, uncontrolled symptoms, they've tried multiple medications, or they feel like there's one specific thing that they're really interested in knowing that they're allergic to. And especially if you have upper and lower airway symptoms, if you're coughing and wheezing, then that has become quite the standard for management to consider allergy injections. And we need to know exactly what you're allergic to be able to put in your specific vial so that we can manage you with the injections if we have the positive testing available there. And in the situation where you may be food allergic, having allergy testing can be very informative to know what to avoid. Thank you for joining us. I hope all this information has been helpful to decrease your suffering from allergies. For more information, go to conehealth.com/wellness. I'm Dr. Rosalind Hicks.
Creative Greensboro is seeking artists who specialize in murals, and the International Civil Rights Center and Museum is accepting applications for its 2022 Summer Internship program. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Creative Greensboro has issued a request for qualifications, or RFQ, for individual artists interested in creating a mural on the highway retaining wall at Oka T. Hester Park, located in southwest Greensboro. This call for artists is open to North Carolina-based muralists. However, Greensboro-based artists will receive priority consideration. The deadline to apply is 5 p.m. on Monday, May 16th. This mural project was approved by residents in City Council District 5 through the last cycle of the city's participatory budgeting process. The artist will be selected by a stakeholder group of District 5 residents and members of the Greensboro Cultural Affairs Commission. The selected artist will receive a $30,000 contract to cover all costs related to the project. In addition to designing and installing a mural on the retaining wall facing the park, the artist will be responsible for leading a community engagement meeting. The mural is expected to be installed in early spring of 2023. For more information and instructions on how to apply, please visit the city's website. The International Civil Rights Center and Museum is accepting applications for its 2022 Summer Internship Program. College juniors, seniors, and graduate level students are welcome to apply. The internship is paid, however, housing is not provided. Students will learn to apply best practices of museum education and interpretation. Interns will lead and participate in the development and implementation of innovative and engaging exhibits and programs. More broadly, the internship covers a mix of public engagement and behind-the-scenes work and participation in various museum operations and community outreach. Interested students should submit a cover letter stating how they might benefit the International Civil Rights Center and Museum, their resume, and academic transcript. The application deadline is Wednesday, May 18th. Submit applications by sending an email to LaTanya Wiley, the museum's Special Events Coordinator. The spring edition of the 2022 Recycle Rodeo is happening on Saturday, May 7th. The City of Greensboro is partnering with Mount Zion Baptist Church from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The rodeo will take place in the church parking lot located at 1301 Alamance Church Road. The rodeo will accept the following types of recyclable items. Paper for shredding sensitive documents only. There is a 5-box limit per vehicle. Household hazardous waste such as batteries, paint, cleansers, pesticides, fertilizer, gasoline, etc. Electronic waste, which includes cell phones, computers, hard drives, monitors, and televisions. Styrofoam from packaging, egg cartons, takeout containers, cups, coolers, and plates. Make sure the items do not have tape or labels. Glass will also be collected as long as the glass is clean and dry without any lids. Again, the Recycle Rodeo is happening on Saturday, May 7th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Mount Zion Baptist Church in Greensboro. Temperatures are starting to rise, but the summer heat wave hasn't hit us just yet. Coming up after the break, we'll get a jump start on summer safety with tips on playing it cool near the pool. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start to the summer season. When the temperatures rise, people head to the pool for a fun way to stay cool. Joining me now to talk about the dangers associated with swimming pools is Dee Shelton. She is the Fire and Life Safety Educator with the Greensboro Fire Department. Hello, Dee. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Carla.
Absolutely. Always good to see you. So the swimming pools will be officially opening very soon if they haven't already started. And can you share some statistics that will shed light on how serious water safety is during summer?
Yeah, the CDC is stating that the biggest reason for children from ages 1 to 4, from the time they're walking up to about 4 years old, the biggest reason for those deaths is drowning. And a lot of that reason is going to be not being supervised or not having the safety barriers in place to keep them, from getting into those bodies of water.
Okay, and we certainly want to make sure that there are things around the house. So I'm sure you're going to take us through those steps to ensure that children are safe if you have a pool or you're visiting somebody with a pool.
Sure. So of course we talked about supervision. Adult supervision is huge. If you're around the pool, you're sitting by the pool, the kids are in there, maybe you don't want to be in there with them right now. A big problem, like with everything, is the cell phones or the iPads or Kindles, whatever we're using by the pool. And we're not really paying attention to the children. We think, well, we'll hear them if they are beginning to drown, and that is not the case because they go silent when they begin to drown. So we really need to have not only our ears on them, but we need to have our eyes on them as well.
Okay, and there's alarms. I'm from Florida. You're required to screen your pools in, have gates and alarms for any doors that lead to a pool.
Right, they let you know if those are opened when you're not around, that you're not wanting someone around. And having those barriers, that's a huge thing too. When you put in a new pool or spa, whatever you're putting in, you want to make sure that you've got those barriers, and that's going to be huge for your insurance as well. But that's just to keep from anyone coming into those pools even when you're not there.
Okay. Now, is it possible to have an electrical mishap near a swimming pool?
Absolutely. So when you're efficient, or when you're beginning to get your work done, you're putting in that pool or spa, you want to make sure that you have an official to come out and do your inspections and make sure that everything is by permit, so that it's inspected and we know that it's safe, everything's grounded, all the electrical is like it should be. Then the other thing is, while we're enjoying it, we like music, and again, we like our cell phones and things like that, and maybe we're trying to charge them while we're by the pool. So we really need to watch the electrical use by the pool and make sure that we're keeping it at least 3 to 5 feet away from the water.
Okay, that's always the rule. Every time you come in, everything should be at least 3 feet away. Now, if someone is in the water and they're actually being somehow electrocuted, how can that happen, first of all, and what do you do if you see that happening?
So if you're in the water and you're beginning to feel like a tingling, that's not good. You need to get out of the water as soon as you can. And sometimes if the electrical charge that you are feeling in the water, it may make you feel like you can't move, you can't do anything. At that point, if there's someone outside of the water, if they could get, some type of a pole or stick, something that does not conduct electricity, and reach to you to try to pull you out, that would help. But you want to make sure that you've got, again, just keeping that electricity away from there to cut down on that chance of the electrical.
Okay, so is this from lightning? Is it from the underwater lights? Like, where is the electricity coming from?
Anywhere that you've got electricity running to that pool, through the pump system, through the warming if you have a warmer, through the lights, if you've got a filtration system, or the jets that are pushing, anything that needs electricity. And yes, electricity, through a lightning strike, that's another point that we need to discuss on that. Because you need to get out of the water if there's a storm.
Okay, and before we talk about that, the drain can sometimes be a hazard if you have long hair in particular. Is that something that can kind of grab hold and the suction keeps you down?
You have to be really careful with that. I think some of the newer systems that they're putting in, I've been hearing that they are trying to incorporate some engineered issues or ways to keep that from happening. But with the older systems, there's still that possibility. So you want to make sure, someone with longer hair, you want to make sure that you've got that up and out of the water, especially like in your hot tubs or your sauna, or the hot tubs, things like that. You want to make sure that hair is up and out of the way so that it's not getting caught.
Okay, good to know. And as you mentioned before, if you are alerted to get out of the water, so maybe at a public pool and the lifeguard is trying to get everyone out, should we take that warning seriously?
Absolutely. So when the lifeguard is telling you to get out of the water, a lot of times it's for them to take a break, but it's also for you to take a break, which is necessary. But then if there's a storm coming and they're saying we need to get out of the water, heed that warning, because electricity looks for water, and it's going to hit those bodies of water. So whether if you're at the lake, the river, any body of water, you need to get off the water if there's a storm.
Okay, and I guess pool safety, don't run around the pool.
Right. You could trip,
Yes.
or hit your head. That's not good.
Not a good thing. Well, thank you, Dee, again for giving us life-saving tips every time you stop by. And we're looking forward to your next visit. We'll be preparing for July 4th, talking about the fireworks.
Wow, we're already there.
Yes. Thank you, Dee.
Thanks.
Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. The City Council has resumed meeting in the Katie Dorsett Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but only in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. The City of Greensboro encourages the community to attend an event designed to uplift people with disabilities and special medical needs. UNITE is an acronym for Understanding Needs of Inclusion Takes Everyone. Unite Downtown Greensboro will take place from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday, May 1st at LeBauer Park on North Davie Street. The event will showcase the many programs provided by local nonprofits and the City of Greensboro serving special needs individuals and their families. The event will also feature games, prize giveaways, music, entertainment, and vendors. Unite Downtown Greensboro is made possible by the partnership between the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department, Family Support Network, Downtown Greensboro Incorporated, and Greensboro Downtown Parks. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, let's meet our neighbors who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
My name is Tristan Bailey, and I moved back from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
My name is Mary Beth Maddox, and I came back to Greensboro from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I work at Guilford County Parks. I'm the marketing and special events coordinator. I never imagined as a single young black woman that I'd be able to afford a home on my own. I used the City of Greensboro's first-time homebuyers program to purchase my first home. I have to live in the home for 5 years, and it's forgiven 100%.
Being a first-time homebuyer feels great. It really gives me a sense of independence, and I just enjoy really getting to put down roots here in Greensboro and also just making this place my own.
It feels great to be back in Greensboro. I went to college here at A&T about a decade ago, and so much has changed in Greensboro since I've been gone.
I'm the marketing services specialist at Biscuitville's Restaurant Support Center, and I also just love how diverse Greensboro is. There are so many people from different walks of life here, so I enjoy meeting people and hearing all the different stories.
I came back to Greensboro because I was looking for new opportunities, and I knew I could find them here.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Greensboro Police Department is bringing back National Night Out, and it will take place in person on Tuesday, August 2nd. The department is thrilled to host in-person events with potential modifications with safety in mind. Neighborhoods planning to participate will need to register. The deadline for registration is Friday, July 15th. Each neighborhood will receive balloons, t-shirts, and a yard sign. National Night Out is a unique crime and drug prevention event sponsored by the Greensboro Police Department. The purpose is to enhance the relationship between neighbors and law enforcement while fostering a sense of community. For more information about GPD's National Night Out program, call the Office of Community Engagement at 336-373-2636. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the City of Greensboro. The Culture Crew Employee Resource Group is organizing a toiletries collection drive for our refugee community. Personal hygiene items and baby diapers can be donated today through Monday, May 23rd. Scan the QR code on your screen for a list of drop-off locations. These donations will be distributed during the World Refugee Day celebration on Saturday, June 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Hester Park. Greensboro is proud to be a refugee resettlement community. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.